Hey everybody, it's Uncle John from Uncle John's Farms here in Center Point, Indiana. We've had about a week and a half to almost 2 weeks of on and off rain. It's just been kind of wet and miserable, and I've kind of let the tomatoes go a little bit, but today I'm going to teach you how to make some tomato cages from some old reused woven wire fencing. It's real easy. It's what I do every year here at Uncle John's Farms. And with our tomatoes, we make things like dehydrated tomato chips that we sell. We call them Uncle John's tomato chips. And you know, you can do this in your own backyard. You can always find somebody that wants to get rid of some old fencing. And most of the time it's free. You don't have to pay for your tomato cages. So I'm going to show you how to do one, then we're going to show you how to set them up like we do here on the farm. Well, as you can tell, I've got some old fencing that we took out, and like I said before, when we take out fencing, we never throw it away, we just reuse it. Today we're going to make tomato cages out of this. It would probably be best if you had some good gloves. I always usually try to use leather gloves, but I didn't bring any out with me. Also, you want a good pair of fence pliers. These can be bought at the big box hardware stores, actually even your local hardware store, and I would suggest you go to the local hardware store to help support local businesses. So here's how you make the tomato cages. We don't have to have very much, and I'm out here by the goats, so you're probably going to hear them. Just going to measure out a little bit. Some of the fencing's all bent up, so you kind of have to go through and rebend it. You just want to straighten it out because these are only good for about a year. You can probably save them, and from year to year, I don't particularly because we always have extra fencing laying around. And you just kind of want to measure it to where you're going to have a big enough cage for your tomato plant. And mine's going to be about right here. Now, you got to watch yourself that you don't get tangled back up into the fence, which this one's going to do. And you're going to cut right off just beyond the stave, so that it'll leave another extra piece for your next tomato cage. Sometimes they're a little hard to cut, especially the top and bottom staves on these fences, because they're actually a little thicker. Okay, once we get that cut, we're just going to bring the two ends together. And you're just going to put the staves on the inside of that last one, and we're just going to bend it over. Like I say, the bottom ones are really, really thick, so it takes you a little time to do that. What I always do, and they're not going to be perfectly round, but for our purposes, this is the way we're going to do it. Again, we're just reusing old fencing that we've taken out. You know, they don't have to be pretty, but these make really good tomato cages. I'm going to stand it up here. And there you go. We've got our first tomato cage done. I've got about 10 of these to make, so I'm not going to bore you with making them. But again, we've just used old fencing. Now, when we get ready to put these tomato cages around, I'll show you how we fasten them to keep them from falling over. Now, these steel fence posts you can buy about anywhere. And you can also buy these post drivers about anywhere. What we want to do is get this aligned pretty much with the plants themselves, the bottom parts. so that we keep things pretty well straight. We want to put this in at an angle, a little bit of an angle to help pull against. And they don't have to be real deep. Plus, when the ground's wet like it is right now, they go in really good. Well, being a ham radio operator, I always have some old rope laying around. When we hang our antennas in the trees, we replace those from time to time. And so we actually have, I keep all the old rope just for this. So what we're going to do is I've got it tight on the other end down there. We want to pull this right over the top of the cages, bring it in, the post in a little bit. And what this is going to do is actually stretch this rope tight. Make a couple of turns around it, and then we can start tying it off. And things don't have to look pretty. This is for functionality. By the way, I don't know if any of you've noticed, but between the cicadas and the horseflies out here, we're right next to the woods. I think the insects are taking over. All right, so we got the rope lined up now across there. I'm going to take this extra rope so that I don't get it into my lawnmower when I'm mowing out here. And what I'm going to do is just kind of tie it up around here a little bit so that we don't run over it with the lawnmower. And that's important, guys. All right, so you're probably sitting there going, well, that's nice you got that rope, but how's that going to hold things down? Well, I'm going to show you. One of the greatest inventions to man is the zip ties. Every man probably has a bundle of these somewhere. And this is what I do. I take a couple, and we're just going to zip tie the cage to the rope. This will anchor the cages. If they're close enough, I'm trying to see here, I may have to move the camera on you. If they're close enough, you can actually zip tie them together, which gives it a little bit more stability. So if you go between the two cages, up around the rope, and just zip tie them together. Now, a lot of times on a joint like this, I like to go one the other way just in case, because there's a lot of pressure on that one zip tie. And there you go, we're anchoring them together. They're anchored to these posts. They're going to move a little bit, but they're not going to fall over on you. Okay, so I wanted to show you what I did here. I had 2 tomato plants left over that I just kind of stuck in the bed. They're out of line. What you can do is take the cages and just zip strip them to the cages that are along the rope. And they're not going to move. If they move, they're all going to move together, but you've got this rope across the top anchored to the fence post that will keep them from moving too much. Now we're looking at tomato plants, and you can see they're already blooming. Again, Uncle John was a little late getting these cages around. But if you look real close here, there's some green tomatoes already starting. They're all getting really good with blooms. There's another little green tomato down there. Well, I want to, again, thank you for being a part of my day today as we got some of the odds and ends jobs done. We went ahead and got the cages up for tomatoes. Again, we'll be making some Uncle John's tomato chips. They'll be on our website for sale probably as we get closer to fall. Don't forget, if you're on the SNAP benefit card, hey, you can use those here at Uncle John's Farms. Yes, we sell fresh chicken. We also have fresh brown eggs, and we also, again, will be having some produce for sale later on as well. Go to our website to find out more information. You can also contact us on Facebook as well. And again, just want to take time to remind folks on these hot summer days, make sure that if you're doing anything outside that you stay hydrated. Heat exhaustion, heat strokes, they're really bad this time of year. So make sure that you stay hydrated. Again, thank you so much for being a part of this video today. Don't forget, we always have products available for sale. You can hit us up at UncleJohnsFarms.com. You can find us on Facebook and messages as well. Again, thank you for being a part of our community, and I appreciate each and every one of you.